All right, today we're going to be talking about the state of mind that your ex is in when you use a no contact rule on them. So essentially, this is going to be the most complete guide on the psychology of your ex, what they're thinking, how they're feeling during the no contact rule. So you're going to be learning the 7 states of mind that your ex is in during a no contact rule throughout this YouTube video. And if you stick around until the very end, not only will you finally be able to identify exactly the state of mind your ex is in when you use a no contact rule on them, but you'll be able to understand the states of mind that may potentially occur when you're using a no contact rule. But first things first, let's define what a no contact rule is. Now, if you are not new to the YouTube channel, you have probably heard me talk about the no contact rule a lot. But for those of you who aren't familiar with what the no contact rule is, here's the definition. The no contact rule refers to a period of time where you cut off all conceivable communication with an ex after a breakup. The intent of this tactic should not be used to make your ex miss you, but instead should be used to rebuild your own life so that you outgrow your ex. By doing this, the no contact rule can have the added benefit of making an ex miss you. So on average, a no contact rule is going to last anywhere between 21 days to 45 days. And what's interesting about the no contact rule is the state of mind your ex is in when you use it on them. They go through a bunch of emotional value changes from positive to negative back to positive again. And what I'd like to do in this video is show you what each of those 7 states of mind are for your ex. Let's just jump right in. State of mind number 1. They are confident in their decision to break up with you. So this often occurs not even as you're using a no contact rule, but immediately after the breakup. Most of the people who come to our YouTube channel are the ones who have been broken up with. In other words, their ex basically said, hey, I think I can do better than you, and began to move on to new people. At first, they're extremely confident of their decision, but as you use the no contact rule on them, things begin to subtly change. State of mind number 2. Wait, why aren't they acting like a normal ex? Human beings are slaves to patterns, especially when it comes to relationships. Oftentimes, one of the most difficult parts about a breakup is the fact that you got so used to the pattern that the two of you had gotten into, and then all of a sudden that pattern is gone, you're like left reeling. Well, that also applies to breakups. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say this is probably not your first breakup or your ex's first breakup. You and your ex have the benefit of experience on going through breakups and what that's like. Your ex specifically has an internal narrative that he is expecting you to react like. So he's thinking, well, she's gonna beg for me back, or she's gonna act a certain way, she's gonna act overly crazy. And when that does not happen, it's almost like they begin to take a little bit more notice and realize something's amiss. Hey there, real quick, I want to say that if you're new to this YouTube channel or you're trying to figure out what you should be doing to get your ex back, and you're trying to learn if you even have a chance in your specific circumstance, probably the smartest thing for you to do is actually stop by our website, www.exboyfriendrecovery.com, or take our Ex Recovery Chances quiz that can be found at exboyfriendrecovery.com. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, taking that free quiz is super easy to do. All you have to simply do is look in the description link below this YouTube video and click on the link you see there. It will take you directly to the quiz where you can fill it out and get an easy answer on what you should be doing going forward and overall what your chances look like in your specific situation. All right, so let's get you back to the video. State of mind number 3. I am so upset that they are ignoring me. A no contact rule is essentially where you say, I am not going to contact or respond to my ex. Obviously, your ex is not going to take this very well. Now, this actually goes into a concept called psychological reactance, which basically states that if human beings feel like one of their behavioral freedoms or options for freedoms is being taken away or limited, you are likely to react in a very poor manner. So that's essentially what's happening here. On using the no contact rule on your ex, it is indicating to your ex that, hey, I no longer have the option of talking to him or talking to her. And what's fascinating about this is that makes them angry. and upset. This is where you get a lot of those knee-jerk reactions on the no contact rule, like, oh, so you're just ignoring me now. Very immature. This is not out of the ordinary from what we see with regards to a no contact rule, which explains the next state of mind that your ex has even better. State of mind number 4, I'm gonna find someone better than them. So you've limited their behavioral freedoms of essentially talking to you or getting a response from you. Their reaction is, of course, well, you know what, that's fine. I'm gonna find someone even better. This is often times where clients that work with us begin to freak out because they believe, oh my goodness, my ex is moving on to someone new. And it feels even worse because they begin to create this narrative in their own heads thinking, I am responsible for my ex moving on to someone new. When in reality, this is all part of the emotional value changes that really works when it comes to understanding the state of mind with the no contact rule and ultimately why it works. So because you ignore your ex, they're thinking, well, okay, I'm gonna show her or him, and they begin to try to go on dates or even try to make you jealous. State of mind number 5, I need a distraction to avoid this pain. So distractions can come in many different types of forms. For some people, it's the state of mind before this one. They try to distract themselves with other people. But for most people, that's not going to work. So they try to distract themselves in other ways by simply ignoring you, focusing on career, or whatever else that occurs. Sometimes you'll even hear through the grapevine or through the sphere of influence that, wow, you know, so-and-so is doing really badly without you. Why don't you just respond to him? They'll enlist a friend or a spy to kind of try to break the no contact rule for you. Ultimately, it's important to know that this is kind of the darkest point of the no contact rule. This is the point where they feel like, oh my gosh, I'm beginning to realize I kind of miss her a little bit. I'm not saying that's exactly what's occurring here, but that's where the beginning seed of an idea begins to get planted. State of mind number 6, confronting what they've lost. All right, so we know in the past state of mind, the seed of basically regret or missing you began to get planted. Well, in this state of mind or in this stage, it's a full-grown tree. They are confronting the reality that they may have lost you forever. And that can be an extremely difficult thing for them. The thing about the no contact rule, it's just really top-heavy and back-end heavy. And what I mean by that is immediately after you do the no contact rule, during the first few states of mind, your ex is reacting in a knee-jerk way. Oh my gosh, you are being so mean. Why can't you just talk to me? Blah, blah, blah. The same thing also occurs in a different way on the back end of the no contact rule, which means they're going to be reaching out to you saying like, you know what, I had some time, I'm glad we had some time, I'm really sorry for how I treated you. That can sometimes happen, but what's more often to happen that this is all going to be kind of an internal battle that's going on within your ex. In other words, they're not going to be saying any of this stuff to you. They'll be saying it to themselves. They're going to be confronting the reality that they may have lost you forever. And that leads to our final state of mind. State of mind number 7. Maybe they'll contact me. 2 things to note here. Number 1 is you see the progression, how it went from, hey, I'm super happy, I'm moved on, to, oh man, I wish they'll contact me. You see how the emotional value change kind of occurs. It goes up and then down and then back up again. But what's interesting also is, notice how I said they don't contact you. Our research has suggested, contrary to popular belief, exes who you use the no contact rule on will more than likely not contact you. In other words, you're going to have to be the first person to contact them after the no contact rule. And I guess this kind of makes sense when you look at the emotional arc that they're going through. It, for them, is a huge slight that you are using a no contact rule, but that's the only way to get them to go through that emotional change where they go super sad to super hopeful that you'll contact them. So after your no contact rule is up, we find the best chance of success occurs where you actually are the one to reach out to them first. But they're sitting there the entire time hoping they'll contact you. Watch one of my success stories that I did with Jessie, who actually married her ex, and you can kind of understand this arc in a real life manner, where her ex would not contact her out of stubbornness, but was hoping beyond anything that she would contact him. And when it finally happened, boom, they were hitting the ground running. So those are the major states of mind that an ex will go through during the no contact rule. Now, just because I gave you a specific order that they occur in doesn't mean they will appear in that order. Sometimes exes can kind of skip around or have setbacks or move all immediately to the I hope she or he contacts me stage. That's completely normal and part of this process. So, a couple more things before I end. Number one, if you haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do so. That will really help us with the YouTube algorithm so that our videos can begin to get featured more, because I feel like we put a lot of work into these and I feel like these videos deserve to be seen. Also, if you haven't taken the X Recovery Chances quiz that I talked about in the middle of this video, probably a good idea to do that. Now, taking the quiz is super easy. Just simply look in the description below this YouTube video and click the link you see there. It'll take you right to the quiz where you can basically answer the questions and get an idea of what kind of chance you have of getting your ex back and whether or not the no contact rule is a good idea for you to do on your ex. All right, so the other thing I want to say to you is we have done a lot of videos on the no contact rule throughout this channel. Probably one of the smartest things that you can do now is to find one of our top videos on the no contact rule. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can just simply search around on our YouTube channel, or what you can end up doing is just type my name in, Chris Seiter, no contact, and all of the no contact videos we've done will pop up on YouTube and we can just sort of get you started. All right, I'll see you next time.